What's up guys, Manny from Motomillion, and if you guys haven't guessed it, it's Dyno Day. So guys, we're here at the dyno. You guys have asked us before not to mod the bikes too much so that you guys can see the incremental power changes, and that's what we're doing today. If you guys watched our previous videos, we installed the Termignoni Exhaust, an air filter, and put the T800 up map that comes with that Dragster exhaust on our Diavel V4. And now we're on the dyno. We want to see the power figures. When we brought the bike over here stock, we did 148 horsepower. And I guess it's predictions time. I'll be happy if it gains, let's say, 10 horsepower at the wheel, which might be a little optimistic. But so I'm saying 158. Daniel, what do you say?
155.
Jason?
I'll say 154.
Jason said 154, and Herman?
Dan, you say 150?
Yeah.
156.
156. So I guess we're all on the same page, but let's not forget the bike only has 189 miles. I will show you guys if we kind of put more braking miles to see if it opens up a little more. I think after the first service, it does make a little more power, but we'll see. For now, it's just Termignoni exhaust, up map, and the filter. Let's see what it does. Guys, it's warm in here. We're done with the dyno. It gained 7 horsepower, around 7. I think it's 7 point something. Maybe I didn't really do the math, but so it's at 155 point something horsepower at the wheel, which is what Termignoni said. Termignoni says it gains around 7 CV, which is 6.9 horsepower. I think they probably mean it at the crank, or maybe they say on the rear wheel, but it's bang on. But I think this bike will actually do more power at the rear wheel. Once we put a lot more miles, that's what we've seen with Ducatis. We'll put more miles in the meantime, bring it back. But I want to show you something else, something that's really impressive actually, that I was very surprised. So in here, we have our dyno graph, and it's very hard to show you guys this on a piece of paper. So that's why I'm getting on the computer while we're here at the dyno room. And if you take a look at this graph, so the red graph is our stock graph, and the blue graph is our graph from today. As you can see, it did 155.47 max horsepower. Those are peak numbers. And 148.03, which was the peak number when the bike was stock. So usually, yes, you know, when you're trying to do a dyno queen, you just look at the peak number. But if you want a bike that's really actually gaining power and it's getting faster and it's nicer to ride, you got to look at the whole graph. If you look at this whole graph, the blue line is up everywhere, which is really impressive. And if you take a look at some of these dips here, like over here, we've gained about, this is more than 7 horsepower here. And we could just go searching for these holes that the stock map had. And it's, again, it's around 7-8 horsepower here. Look at this one here. This one looks big. This is 9 horsepower right here. And even up top here, this looks like a big dip here too. This is 10 horsepower. Take a look at this. Stock map did This is around 9,000 RPM. It did 134.54 horsepower. With the Termignoni exhaust and the map, the up map, it did 144.59. And even up top here, I think these are where the peak numbers are. Yeah, I just nailed it. So the peak number is actually 155.47, and that was right around 147 when the stock map did it. And then if you want to change it to the torque numbers, yes, we do get torque numbers, guys. If you guys know, we always take an RPM reading. We don't rely on the torque from the roller. It's very inconsistent. If I pull up all the pulls that we did, it's so consistent, even from day to day, from a cold day to a warm day. It's because we get the proper readings. We've talked about this before. I'm not going to bore you right now. Take a look at this. Stock max torque was 79.48 foot-pounds, and now it's at 85.52. Look at this big dip here, guys. We're gaining 10 foot-pounds at like between 4 and 5,000 RPM. Even lower here, this is 8 foot-pounds between 3 and 4,000 RPM. Again, if you go digging these holes here that it had, even up top, this is where the max was. So we've gained over 6 foot-pounds of torque, which is quite a bit. Let's see this one right here. This right here is just over 8 foot-pounds of torque that we gained here. But again, look at this graph. This graph is up everywhere. There's nothing that crosses down. Next time you guys take a look at a dyno graph, I'm asking you guys to take a look to see how much of the graph is actually a gain and where it loses. It's really impressive. And let's go back to the power figure here. So this is it. This is our final dyno numbers from now. And then now, when we change the wheels, the chain, and also what we'll do is that we'll put more miles on the bike. We'll bring it back here to see if it even made any relevant changes on the power of the bike. But now the bike is sounding amazing. We know that it's making gobs more power. Again, you might think 7 horsepower is not that impressive. Don't forget, when we look at the figures, because 7 horsepower off 148 horsepower is pretty good. If it was 7 horsepower from a bike that did 190 horsepower stock, it's still good, but it's not as good, right? Because it's percentage game. But just this graph itself being high at every single point and having more gains down below than just the peak gains that we had, that makes me really happy. And when you ride the bike, it actually feels like it. It feels like it's smoother, it's got more power, and it's happy man, you guys. So let's go back to the studio and let's put the bike back in the studio and we'll call it a day. I guess now is the right time for me to tell you guys what I think about this exhaust, because ever since we installed this exhaust and the map from UpMap that comes with the exhaust and the air filter that we added on ourselves, I haven't done a video. And last time we were on the dyno, we did install the Brent Tuning Drivability Beta map, and I'm happy to report that the UpMap, and as you saw on the dyno, the UpMap does significantly improve that sensitive choppy throttle that it has. And obviously now it's dyno verified that we've added a ton of power at all rev ranges. Let's talk about the sound of this though. This thing sounds just insane. You know, who cares about the power, but I don't know if it's coming on if the audio is picking up right, but the sound it's just insane. But it's not insane and obnoxious, guys. It's insane and nice. And this bike, it's so friendly to ride. It's so nice. And the power, yes, it's a little, if you ask me, for a cruiser, it's got too much power. That's why we call it a super cruiser. But it's manageable, especially, I don't know, I guess I have some riding under my belt, so I could say this. I said that we were gonna go back to the shop or the studio, but we're not. I guess I decided that we all deserve a good Italian food. We're gonna go grab some sandwiches from this place that has mozzarella sandwiches, which is, I think they're epic. They're so good. And what could be more Italian, you know? An Italian exhaust like Termi, an Italian bike like the Diavel V4, and let's go pick up some well-deserved Italian sandwiches. And one more sound check, I guess, right? Wow, it just pulls for days, guys. This is, I love this bike. I think it is it is one of my favorite bikes. You know, the Panigale, all the bikes have a time and place for it. Let's put it that way. If I could own all of them, I wouldn't mind having all these bikes, but if I had to choose one that they say you could only have one of the Motomillion bikes, this bike does it all. You know, it has enough speed. You don't do roll racing, but if you do, sure, don't buy the Diavel V4, but for an enthusiast to enjoy motorcycling, and I bet you if you live somewhere that has some corners, this will be firing. And yeah, you're not going to be chasing some of these really good talented superbike riders, but you're going to have a lot of fun, and you're going to have good fun, right? Because sure, even if you take a 200cc bike around corners, it might be fun, but this stands its own ground. When we say it's a super cruiser, it is a super cruiser, guys. I think I don't know, let's say if it does 70-80% of what a super sport bike, a super bike would do, and it does 100% of everything that they can't do, is being comfortable like this. And my God, this sound, I can't be happier with the exhaust choice for this bike, guys. We will still try to get our hands on someone who has a Diavel V4 in the Miami region that has a full Acura exhaust. I'd really like to put them against each other to see how much more power it makes. And if you have a stock Diavel V4, UpMap actually makes a map that improves the stock bike. So we could actually, offer you that UpMap at no cost and get your bike on the dyno just to see and just to show you guys what difference it makes, because I'm kind of wondering myself too. So if you're in the area and have a Diavel V4 that you want us to put the UpMap on it and put it on the dyno, hit us up. And if you're in the area that you happen to have a Diavel V4 with the full Acura exhaust, let's put it on the dyno against this bike, and I'm going to make sure that this thing has more miles. Right now we have 195 miles, guys, so that's not a lot of miles. And I know, and we will do this, I know for a fact that this will make a little more power. Maybe, it's not a whole lot, but 2 horsepower more when it's fully broken in. So we'll give it a try. I'm really enjoying today. It's a little too windy, but it's not a bad day to be on a bike. Guys, every time you shift, it's phenomenal. But before I get myself into trouble, guys, let me show you these awesome sandwiches and we'll call it a day there. I don't want to have too much fun, and there's traffic coming right up. You guys don't want to see the ugly traffic of Miami, so I'll see you guys at the sandwich place. Guys, we're here at Mimo's Mozzarella. This is as Italian as it gets in Miami, and it's very fitting. I have this mozzarella right here and I Diavel V4 outside. Once I stopped recording and I hit traffic with the bike, happy to report that the T800 UpMap that came with the exhaust system really fixed that throttle issue that we were having before. So that's a thumbs up for it too, and we got some really good results on the dyno as we expected, but I really didn't expect to see all those gains throughout the whole rev range. So we're really happy. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. Until next time, guys, have a good one.